After years of planning and scheduling conflicts, I finally managed to visit Tetsujin competition in Singapore. Tetsujin 2024, what an awesome event it was. So many different entries from so many different categories, not restricted only to the Gundam category, but also a lot of other different categories which I will share in this video later. Now, this is quite a long video, so do get a cup of coffee and enjoy all the entries I managed to capture to share for you guys in this particular video. So why did I manage to capture all the entries? Well, I actually went to Tetsujin on day 2, and even though on day 2 there was still a lot of entries not submitted to the event showcase itself. So I did manage to speak some of them. These late submission contestants, they did say that, look, they are all so busy with their work and also college and university, so they were all rushing to get the kits to be submitted on time. I did went back on day 3, but even though day 3, I think maybe only 90% of the entries were submitted. I could be wrong, so do let me know if that is not the case. Now, this week is actually quite a busy week, and I'm actually quite torn because we have both Tetsujin 2024 happening in Singapore and also a very big Malcolm competition happening in Malaysia, in Penang as well. Same weekend, so at least I managed to cover Tetsujin here for you guys. So by the time this video is released, you probably already know who the winners are. Now, Tetsujin is quite an interesting competition because it is very different from GPWC, which is the official Gunpla competition from Bandai. Tetsujin has no real fixed rules, so most of the kits here that you can see, you will see a lot of mixture from Hexagear, Gunpla, and also the frame arm girls from Korobokia kit as well. There's a lot of different mixtures to showcase the ability, the skill sets of all the modelers from Japan. There were also some entries from Indonesia as well, as I've heard, and I was really blown away. There were a lot of big kit entries for the advanced category as you are seeing here. Most of them are about 160 scale, perfect grade size, a lot of details to look at, not just in terms of their airbrush quality, but also in terms of overall finishing, detailing. The kit bashing was the one that really caught my eye. There were a lot of different parts that when you see that, hey, isn't this from Hexagear? Hey, isn't this from Optimus Prime? And isn't this from something? So there were a lot of nice kit bashing ideas built into one single entry. This particular entry really blew me away, especially with the wolf at the back, with all the tails, which are the real grade Epion's Whiplash, if I'm not mistaken. So those look really quite impressive. Now, what I also really like is how the organizers have organized this event. Not only have they also prepped all the 10 cards for each participant, so everything is printed nicely. What's the name of the display, what's the name of the entry, the name of the contestants. It was all done in such a professional manner, but they have also provided a photo booth so that contestants can actually put in their entries into the photo booth to snap and upload onto their social media page before they even put their entries into the display cabinet. So that particular photo booth is actually from Orange Monkey, the Folio 3, if I'm not mistaken, which we reviewed on our channel and recommended years ago. And if you'd like to see the link on it on our channel, I'll put it right now on the top right of the channel. Okay. Now, coming back to all the big entries for Tetsujin 2024, and these were really big and huge entries as what you are seeing here. There are so many things going on top, at the back, on the side, that I actually had spent a good 10 minutes going through to really understand what I'm actually filming and taking a photo of. This particular entry, wow, there were just so many details and so many parts to it. I don't think we're going to get to see this kind of big entries anymore in GBWC, given that Bandai has started to restrict the size of the entries to be entered into GBWC starting in 2024. So hopefully there'll be more and more local organizers and stores that will step up and do this kind of events in their own local country to supplement, not to fight with GBWC, but to supplement the competition in each of these particular countries. There were just so many big entries that I spent a big chunk of my time actually filming the advanced category versus the basic category. But mind you, even the basic category, there was some of it that really blew me away as well. So what I really liked was looking at the hexagear entries. There were also some of the Amain boundary warriors as well. So quite a lot of variety to actually check out. And also, actually, at this particular event, I was planning to do a full walkthrough video of all the entries and also in terms of the items on sale. But despite Tetsujin being at the same venue as GBWC Singapore, which is at Bugis Plus, the venue is still, I believe, has outgrown its demand. There were just so many footfall traffic going into the sales area and also the display area. It was really hard to do a walkthrough filming because, like I said, it was really shoulder to shoulder. Everybody was bumping shoulder to shoulder, trying to find the best item on sale, which seems like they kept restocking the items as fast as they could because the items were really on great sale. Some of them were going to 40 to 50%, and I also managed to grab some items for myself to come back to Singapore. So hopefully Tetsujin 2025 will be at a bigger venue, so it'll be a bit more comfortable and easier for people to browse and buy the items indeed. Now, the interesting thing is also in terms of who are the judges for this particular event, and I think that the organizers have done an amazing job in inviting two esteemed judges for the event. We have Mr. Ide and also Naoki-san, which came all the way from Japan, which also showcased his new line of merchandise and a kotobukiya at the show floor, which I'll show you at the end of the video later. Now, one of the things that I've been mentioning over and over again in all my past videos when it comes to Plumber competition and even GBWC is that you must enter your kits with a particular base or diorama to give it a story. And one of the things that I was really impressed at Tetsujin 2024 is that 90% out of all the entries, they all have a proper diorama base to tell a story with a great fantastic pose to go with it. Then that is one of the refreshing things that we get to see at Tetsujin. I do think that the level of entries are at a higher level than GBWC basic category, definitely indeed, in terms of not just having a great paint job and also great build, finishing, overall detailing, but also in terms of prepping a diorama to give it a story, which I think most judges are going to be a little bit more impressed at. Today is Sunday as I'm doing this video for you. By now, I think Naoki-san and Mr. Ide is probably already decided who are the top winners for each category. Now, one of the categories that I actually really like is actually the Iron Maiden category. So those are all the mecha girls, frame arm girls, 30-minute sisters, which maybe in the future, if Bandai would kindly consider mixing the 30ms or 30mm kits together with GBWC, I think that will give it a little bit more different variety. But then, given that we have so many entries for GBWC in all countries, maybe that will not happen. So maybe it will retain only in Tetsujin. So one of the key kits category that I really love are looking at all the Zetas, the Impulse, and there were actually a lot of Eclipse Gundam entries. I think I counted about 3 to 4 master grade Eclipse Gundam entries in Tetsujin itself. So quite a nice, quite a nice view of how these contestants in Singapore have their own way of interpreting how the color scheme should be like for the Eclipse Gundam. There were also quite a lot of nice clean build by the contestants with a lot of added new detailing and paneling as well. So there were quite a lot of things that you get to see for Tetsujin. Definitely an event that you would want to see if you're able to visit next year. And if you've been following our channel for the longest time and seen our GBWC coverage, you would know that I always bitch about one other thing, and that is the harsh lights condition at the display cabinet. But luckily at Tetsujin 2024, I did not have this particular problem. The light was just nice, it was really soft, and also I did not have the shutter blinds issue because the lights that they use here is just really of higher quality. And that is thanks to Module Case, which has been the sponsor for the display cabinet at the event. So I think most of the lighting that you see here are all the original lighting from the display case. I did not actually use any additional lights to light up the display for my filming. So a good job. So probably this is one of the display case that you might want to consider if you want to get a display case for all your collectibles. Do check out Module Case. And hey, if anybody from Module Case is watching this video, maybe can we get a review unit sample? We would love to have your item or review for our channel. Now let's check out the other category on display at Tetsujin other than just the basic and advanced mecha competition, right? I think the Iron Maiden category was really something else because number one, I was not expecting such big kit bash entries of having to see frame arm girls together with hexa gear all cobbled into one impressive display. So Iron Maiden is probably one of my favorite category on display at Tetsujin 2024, primarily because right now I'm really into 30ms as well, and I'm going to jump into the frame arm girls fairly shortly once I have time to build my stash and backlog. Frankly speaking, I have way too many kits in my backlog waiting for me to build because I am kind of busy trying to prep my GBWC entry for 2024 in Malaysia. So GBWC 2024 is of course coming up and we are all busy trying to get into the 400 slot limit in Malaysia. So for those of you who are participating, all the best, and remember, do always join for fun and have fun, right? The Iron Maiden category was not as many compared to the mecha category, but definitely, wow, I was just blown away by the creativity of the Singapore contestants. As you can see here, there were so many different parts from so many different kits and categories that were all bashed into one, and the overall shading, colors that they use, some of them do look really cool, and I would definitely want something like this on my display shelf as well. When you have covered so many Gunpla and Plamo events, looking at the Iron Maiden category, it is definitely very refreshing, especially for content creator like us. And this is a category that I wish more Plamo competition organizers would create. Definitely this is something a little bit more different and refreshing for not just the contestants and content creators, but also for people who are visiting the event and looking at Plamo for the first time. I do hope that this category will only grow in Tetsujin next year, given that how the frame arm girls and the 30ms are becoming a little bit more affordable given the weak yen exchange. So it's definitely a category that I'll be paying a lot more attention to in the future. Myself personally, I have been buying a lot of 30ms. I've not been reviewing them on my channel, but I actually do have quite a few of the girls on display in my own collection. I've been trying to kit bash them together with the Wish from Mercury series as well. Maybe I'll do a video for you guys to see how that actually pans out. For me, the frame arm girls is definitely one of the series that I'll be getting into very shortly as well. Now, one of the main draw of the event is not just to look at all the amazing entries and also to buy all the great items on sale, but it was also a chance to meet in person Mr. Naoki-san and also Mr. Ide. So both of them not just brought themselves, but they also brought their winning entries from past competition on full display here. So I was actually blown away to see their completed build for the first time in person, despite having going through all of their previous build on the internet. It is just totally something else to see their build in person. The level of detail, the paint job, and also in terms of their decals and weathering, it just really is something else. I finally get a chance to understand why these two gentlemen are placed in such high regards among the Plamo community. And if I were able to get either one of these gentlemen to build a commission for me, I think I'll be over the moon to have this as one of my holy grails in my collection. Definitely the Mark V really blew me away together with the Perfect Gundam. I was just really in awe. Spent about 30 minutes just wiggling through their build on display at the event. Now, one of the other draw was also getting to see Mr. Naoki-san's Titanomachia kits coming up very soon in display at Tetsujin 2024. And I have to say, I was actually really blown away by these upcoming kits from Naoki-san. These look really a lot better than what I have seen so far online. To be very frank, these kits definitely does have a lot of potential, especially at the thing that's coming up very, very soon. So for those of you who are wondering how this series is going to look like, do visit Tetsujin 2024 and check out all this kit that's coming up from Kotobukiya, if I'm not mistaken, from Naoki-san. These are all designed from Mr. Naoki-san, and I do think that they hold a lot of promise for plumber builders. And in case you're wondering, hey, why do this kit look so plain? Well, that is because this is unpainted, right out of the box build, so you get to see where the nummarks will be if you're going to build them. And I am actually quite impressed to see that there are not a lot of nummarks for the kits that's coming out from Mr. Naoki and the Titanomachia kits. Looks really good, especially the Edelstein. I really dig the proportions and the overall design. It kind of harkens back to the Knights, the 5-star story series kind of a design. Looks quite good. Very nice mix of those two particular designs. So all the upcoming kits from the Titanomachia kits that's coming out this year is on display, full display at Tetsujin 2024. And some of these kits I think could use with a little bit of decal. I'm not sure what are the decals is going to be for these kits, but they do look really good, especially with those assault rifles. Nice amount of details, not too much overdone, so definitely looking forward to this coming out. I was actually planning to buy some of the kits that were on sale from Titanomachia series, but they were all sold out by day 2, unfortunately, really fast. And I think by now most of the Singaporeans visitors to Tetsujin is probably getting a nice time taking a selfie with Mr. Naoki-san. Mr. Ide's Project Fan was also on full display, and this monster, oh my god, there was just so much detail. I had a hard time zooming in because it was placed really far in the display cabinet. Maybe next time can we put it up closer to the display cabinet where people can see it, Mr. Ide. But all in all, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to buy his book or even to meet him. I think they were all busy having fun visiting Singapore during Tetsujin 2024. So all in all, a very big thank you to the organizers for allowing me to film and snap photos for all the entries, especially from Mr. Ide and also Naoki-san. They were quite impressive. And also thank you to all the Singaporean contestants who came up to say hi to me. It is quite awesome to see I have some fans even in Singapore itself. So Tetsujin 2024, today is the last day, and all the best to all the contestants. Now, what you're seeing here is the actual view during dinner. People were literally lining up just to get into the display and also sales venue. So due to the size, it is the same place as GBWC 2023. And yeah, as you can see, people were lining up to get in and also lining up to actually buy the items itself. So quite a fun event. I would definitely plan to return back in 2025. Now, if any of you have any questions about Tetsujin 2024, do let me know. And again, my apologies for not capturing all the entries because there was only so much I could cover. But I do think that the organizers did a fantastic job, not just in terms of creating a great avenue and atmosphere for the competition, but also in terms of the display. Man, the lighting was just awesome. I had no issues filming all the entries, and even the display glass was all properly clean, so there were not a lot of smudges as what we used to see at GBWC events. So again, thank you everybody for your warm hospitality in Singapore, and I'll see you guys very soon. Now, if you're new to our channel, you know what to do. Do click, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching.